A man beats an elderly victim to the ground for trying to get into his car in December 2023 at La Mexicana food store in North Houston. That victim's family says he was simply confused because he has Alzheimer's. The man in the red here is Trayvon Lockridge. He was arrested, but his bond was then lowered and he posted it.
And of course he gets out, and he's out, and now he's wanted again.
Wanted for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in a shooting.
And somebody wrote, Houston man who beat an old man with dementia was released on a bond lowered from 1 million to 20K. Now he assaulted a woman. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, why? Like, if somebody feels comfortable doing something bad, don't you think they might repeat it again? Lefty policies or societal suicide? Yeah, it seems like that. It's empathetic. And because you're disciplined and she's not, you are hurting the society.
Why? 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 Why?
Learning tonight more about Maryland man Kilar Garcia. You remember him. He's in the news more than Trump these days. A new report suggests something strange was going on when he was pulled over on a Tennessee highway in 2022. The officer at the time suspected it was a human trafficking incident, and it looks like that, doesn't it? Now we're told through a DHS source that the car Abrego Garcia was driving belonged to a convicted human smuggler. This guy's really a delight. 8 other people were with him. They all used the same home address as Abrego Garcia, and no one has luggage for the drive. How do you figure that? Texas to Maryland, no luggage? Spanning multiple days, multiple states. Something is not adding up here. You put it together. No wonder Democrats are fighting so hard to get him back.
And you know what's odd? Texas to Maryland, from what I can check online, is a 20-hour trip by car. Which means if you're traveling with 8 other people in a car and all of them have the same address as you and there's no luggage.
We have to have the courage to be down there and to be in places even if we don't have the security that we need. We have to continue.
We have to do everything we can right now. We went over there to try our best to see him, to make sure he's okay.
I hope other members of Congress come here and see this for themselves.
Salvador was the highest murder capital in the world and suddenly is the most safest in the world. How? Instead of solving crime the way America wants to solve it, especially the democratic way, he decided, no, we're going to be very direct. Consequence.
If you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
Salvador is doing everything Democrats don't want, and it also gives Trump another option. If this guy gets normalized, he is the kryptonite of Democrats.
Before I used to talk about transgenders or whatever, but in actuality, I think it's brilliant what they've done. Meaning, for you to develop in your mind that you're something that you're not and actually go through with it, it's damn it powerful. Because it tells me you could have been anything you wanted to be if you put your mind to it.
Okay. Wow.
That's a very interesting point.
To all of the people who are against Carmelo Anthony, me as a black man in America, white people, I'm telling you and I'm telling you now, you ever even think to approach me, bully me, harass me, think you're gonna be with your twin brother or twin whatever, and do anything to me, I too will poke you as well.
If somebody harasses him, which means if he disagrees with you, he's gonna pokey you.
Straight to the heart. And that's on self-defense.
That's not self-defense.
Y'all don't want to end up like Austin. Leave black people alone.
That is crazy. You know what's weird? He's got over 1 million followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
We lost our TikTok 4 times talking about the election and COVID.
Yeah.
And among other things that's covered under free speech, and we keep losing accounts. But yeah, black racists threatening white people on TikTok, and nothing happens to them. This whole event with Carmelo, it seems like it's emboldened black people to be like ignorant and thuggish and just say the dumbest thing ever.
Comedians make jokes of serious stuff to be able to process it even better. But to make them get serious again, I think you crossed the line. Dilo, remember to subscribe.
Remember to subscribe? ¿Por qué?
I asked the lawyer himself, are there circumstances where being grabbed in any scenario, like you can imagine one, where lethal force would be justifiable self-defense?
Absolutely. I mean, everyone's asking the wrong question or answering the wrong question. The question again is, did you have a reasonable perception that you were facing an imminent threat of unlawful deadly force harm? If the answer to that is yes, you can use deadly force in self-defense. And there's an infinite number of ways that can happen. If someone just grabs you, are they grabbing you and they have a knife in their other hand? Because that's going to be a bad day for you. Are they grabbing you and they're 200 pounds heavier than you? Bad day for you. That could well be a deadly force threat.
What if they grab you and there's 5 guys all around you?
Sure, then there's a disparity of numbers. Then it's the force of the collective group that's threatening you, not just one individual.
What if they don't touch you at all? Are there circumstances where deadly force is
Yes, of course. If someone comes up to me and opens up their jacket and says, "Give me your wallet," and they show a gun, they haven't touched me. I don't have to suffer a scratch before I can defend myself. I can defend myself against the threat that's about to occur. It's an imminent threat that you're defending yourself against.
I'm going to say this. And I'm going to say it as shockingly and offensive to everybody as I can, as fast as I can. Then I'm going to pause for 5 seconds, and then you're all going to agree with me. I'm talking to the audience. So let me offend you first. Carmelo Anthony will be acquitted. He will be found not guilty.
If I have to be honest, I find it scary. Because if this is okay, that means the next time you meet a black man and you seem like a white man, you might be in danger. And it might be vice versa. Because now you normalize it. If you feel in danger in certain capacity, a guy can say like, whoop, I see a bunch of black people coming in this direction. I might fear for my life because it's a group surrounding me, which justifies me to do something about it. You normalized it, which means we're going to have 2 groups now that thinks if I feel threatened, I can do something about it. Antifa with people, Jewish in Palestine, government and independent people, I'm just saying we're normalizing something that I think might normalize something else. So ladies and gentlemen, this seems to be an appointment that they made on Facebook on this hair salon, and that was the grandma with a little one. They were supposed to arrive at a specific amount of time, but they arrived 10 minutes too late. So this lady was kind of pissed, and once she was done with that, she was like, well, you need to pay a late fee, 25 more.
Excuse me, what?
And grandma said, I ain't paying that. You could have told me that before. And she said, okay, well, if you ain't paying back, I'm cutting the head.
We don't articulate as Black women our pain because it's almost like nobody ever gave us permission to do that.
And does anyone care?
Yeah, there's
Will
that.
they care?
There's
If
that
we
part.
knew, I think we would care. If we knew.
Mm-hmm.
If we knew.
Or, yeah. And we have to ask ourselves, the men in our lives is, why wait to be asked? It seems like what we go through is pretty obvious. I mean, maybe we're not complaining, but we're actually living life out loud,
So in that situation, if you're saying now you don't articulate your pain very well, but it seems very obvious, I can say that about men too. Certain things is very logical. It seems very obvious. The moment you start thinking like that, you already deleted the middle ground.
Natalie Winters is White House correspondent for Steve Bannon's show War Room.
Our bias is not to be sycophants for President Trump. Our bias is for our audience, which is the working class of America, the people who want to put this country first.
If Trump messes up, will you guys call it out?
Yeah, and we have. I think time and time again, particularly on the vertical and issue of immigration, we are not for stapling green cards to diplomas.
We met the new media correspondents on the day Trump announced tariffs that could upend the world economic order. As other news outlets reported on the tanking stock market, On Bannon TV, they celebrated.
This is the first day where a sitting president put America's working class first, and it's a glorious day to be standing here at the White House and to be able to say that and bring that to you.
Have the quote-unquote traditional reporters that are here been hostile to you at all?
Well, I think they know better than to come after Natalie Winters and the War Room posse, but it's the looks, the eye rolls, the conversations that I overhear.
Do you consider yourself a journalist?
Yes.
To the people, and I'm sure you see this online every single day, who say you don't deserve to be here because you're not a real journalist, what's your response to them?
Well, I'm pretty sure the group of people in there spent, 4 years covering for someone who was essentially dead, and that's being charitable in my description of him, a president by the name of Joe Biden. So to all those people who are apoplectic over having new media voices, you guys failed, and that's why we're here.
Don't care if you are a real journalist, you're still a million times more effective than this clown. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, independent media is taking over, and the fact that Tim Pool seems to be going now to the White House and people got so angry at him proves me right.
Many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called the Maryland Man hoax, where an MS-13 gang member adjudicated by 2 different judges, I believe, is just simply being referred to as a Maryland man over and over again. Now, in an effort from the White House to expand access to new companies, you've created this new media seat.
They're expanding.
He was living in Maryland, designated MS-13 terrorist, and Donald Trump deported him. How does that make you feel?
I feel safer.
He gotta go. He gotta go.
Need to go. I mean, that's it.
But he was a father.
But he's still a terrorist.
Okay. I mean, but there's children living without fathers now.
Okay, I didn't expect a negative to become a compliment.
He should have picked the tree, so he picked to be a terrorist instead of worrying about his children.
The Democrats, they want him back. They say he was wrongfully deported. He has a wife and a kid who's a citizen. They're calling this a national emergency. Is this a national emergency?
I wouldn't call it a national emergency. We got more things going on. We have more things, more fish to fry.
I just found out about it, so I don't think so. What kind of national emergency? For what? What is the emergency for?
Ain't no national emergency, no.
He was accused of hitting his wife twice and was a suspected human smuggler. Was he wrongfully deported?
No. He need to go.
If he's a smuggler, yeah, he need to be deported.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
I don't think a lot of Democrats would agree with that quote. At all.
Your senator here, Chris Van Hollen, he flew to El Salvador where this guy was deported. He met with them, had lunch with them, had margaritas on the table. What's up with your senator?
I have no idea, but I do believe that was a waste of taxpayer dollars.
Margaritas. Margaritas.
You agreeing with somebody whipping their wife, terrorizing where you live, then you don't need to live here either.
Senator Van Hollen, you need to come see me, Mr. Coley, because you doing like that. You need to take care of home before you go to other states.
He went to El Salvador.
Oh, come on! Oh, that's another country, excuse me.
Look, man, hey, man, oh my God. I thought I was alone in this confusion.
Chris Van Hollen ever done for you?
Nothing.
Nothing. For me? Nothing.
Nothing that I know of.
He ain't do me. I can admit that.
I've never even heard of this person.
Do you want Kilar Garcia, this quote-unquote Maryland dad, living back in Maryland?
No. No.
No. No.
Not if he's doing trafficking, no. Why the I want somebody like that back? No.
What is your message to the Democrats who really want him back in your community?
Why would you want that in my community? Bring it to your community and see how long you like it up there.
Leave him, or y'all go over there with him.
You're focused on the wrong thing.
And I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, hey, they added a clip. They didn't put the people that don't like him. Okay, let's assume they exist. I'm just happy this voice exists.
Don't get me wrong, ma cosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde, kush hash, purple skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, jam, dur, loqueta, verdeta, welcome.